So what are the goals of Six Sigma? So Six Sigma primarily talks about 4 important aspects. The first being reducing the defects. Now what are defects? Defects are anything that is undesirable to the customer. Like if I'm buying a bottle of water and if that water is not chill, and if it's a hot summer day, then that's a defect. So a defect is anything that is undesirable to the customer, and if you try to reduce the defects in your process, then naturally your process is going to be much better. It's going to be something that your customer will love. So what are the financial benefits of reducing defects? First and foremost, you're going to reduce wastage, scrap, rework, rejection, and all that stuff. If you are a financial organization, then you're going to have a huge reduction in compliance cost. If you're a manufacturing company, you're going to see that your warranty costs or penalties are going to come down. Moving on further, after defects, next comes improvement in the yield. So what is an yield? Yield is nothing but a ratio of output to the input. If the yield of your process increases, and yield of your process will increase when you reduce the defects. And so if yield increases, then you see more money as a businessman. So your shareholders are happy. The third important perspective of Six Sigma is consistent performance. In other words, variation. Variation in delivery is something that no one desires. Let's assume that the boy who delivers newspaper in your house, if he's inconsistent, are you going to like that? If he's going to drop the newspaper one day at 6 in the morning and another day 6 in the evening, are you going to like that? You're not going to, right? So inconsistent performance is something that all of us dislike. If we are able to reduce the variation, that gives huge benefits both to the customers and the business. So that's the third important perspective of Six Sigma. The fourth perspective of Six Sigma talks about how do you focus on increasing the revenue or reducing the cost. So all these 4 important perspectives of Six Sigma is what drives an organization towards perfection. So what are the tangible benefits of Six Sigma? So if you look at a set of organizations that have implemented Six Sigma, they have seen around 20% increase in margin, in their gross margin, 15% increase in the capacity of the organization, and as a result, there would be a 12% reduction in labor, or in addition to that, they see a 20% reduction in their capital investments. So they need less capital in future to deliver the same output. So these are numbers that have been computed based on several organizations which have applied Six Sigma, and we try to see how these organizations performed in the first few years of their deployment of Six Sigma, and that's how we arrived at this number. So how did it all get started? Six Sigma started with Motorola in the late 80s. There was an engineer called Bill Smith who was working for Motorola, and he tried to find out the ways by which he can improve the quality of the product, and he ended up with something that he named as Six Sigma. Subsequently, Allied Signal picked up Six Sigma and deployed it across the organization. Following that, something interesting happened. GE, Jack Welch, picked it up and said, I'm not just going to do it in manufacturing, but I'm going to do it across my organization in services as well. So financial services and non-financial services, along with manufacturing, started seeing how Six Sigma can benefit the organization. And that was a big turning point in the journey of Six Sigma. So today, if you look back, what kind of industries actually are using Six Sigma? All industries. Virtually all industries today use Six Sigma, starting from aerospace to high-tech to hospitality to utilities. Across board, Six Sigma is being used by many organizations. I'm not going to here shell out the name of the companies which are using Six Sigma, but I'm going to encourage you to go do a research on the internet for the industries that you're working for, or alternate industries for your own skill set. So that might be a good thing for you to do. Personally, if you look at me, I have deployed Six Sigma in a variety of areas, in a variety of industries, starting from automobile, packaged goods, education, financial services, hospitality, industrial manufacturing, logistics and distribution, and utilities. And it's not just these industries, but also the enabling functions. Functions such as HR, finance, IT, quality, administration, security, and even canteen. In many organizations, I have seen Six Sigma being deployed across board. I'm not sure if I have made you sound that Six Sigma can do everything, but if you don't believe what I'm saying, I will also talk about what is not Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is not an end in itself. It is not a replacement for your engineering or scientific knowledge. It is not applicable for every problem in its entirety, right? So there are problems for which Six Sigma cannot be applied, or it cannot be applied fully. So in certain areas of the problem, you can deploy Six Sigma. Yes. And most importantly, Six Sigma is not just a set of tools. It goes beyond tools. So if I were to summarize, Six Sigma is a discipline management approach. It's a customer-centric model, a means by which data-driven decisions are being made in an organization, critically focuses on reducing defects through reduction of variation, and lastly, what I don't want you to forget is 3.4 defects per million opportunities. That's what Six Sigma aims at. Thank you.